right, hello wine drinking people. We are back with more of what I had to drink yesterday and covering a few tastings here in this one video. We had a quickie from David Phinney, who was the mind behind Prisoner and Saldo and several other labels we have here in the store. And David is, you know, a really interesting guy. It was nice of him to stop by. And, well, I'm not a big fan of Zinfandel, but it's good to know that Dave says that's not his favorite varietal either. I knew we had something in common here. But he does like very big wines and really big in the fruit department. Hey, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. And the Saldo, Zinfandel from California, a big and ripe style of Zinfandel, raspberry coulis, flowers, spice, your typical Zinfandel, but it has nice freshness when you get it on the palate and on the finish. You know, really bright style of Zinfandel, loads of fruit and that floral quality showing through on the finish, but still really nice balance. Hey, an excellent job with the Zinfandel, David. All right, next up, one of our friends from Rare Wines was in with some new Pinots from Kelly Fox, and hey, I know we talked about these after the Pinot Noir taste, the Oregon Pinot tasting, but I'm going to talk about them again because they are so good, and they got a screw cap. I mean, I like everything about these wines. This the first one we had, the Marabi, is their kind of entry level. I don't say entry level because all these wines are outstanding, and the Marabi was the favorite when we had our Oregon Pinot tasting, believe it or not. And Kelly Fox is working with Scott Paul as well. She's the winemaker for that. This is a blend of two different vineyard sites, both biodynamically farmed. Only 150 cases of this Marabi wine produced. Lovely, pretty nose of cranberry, rhubarb-like fruit here. Fresh flowers, some raw steak coming in there as well. Some fresh herbs, light smoke. Nice complexity on the nose here. A bright and savory style of Pinot with lovely, smooth, velvety tannins and a nice zesty finish, but showing a lot of nice fruit as well, and very balanced. I would say of the three, it's the lightest, but probably the most balanced also. That's why it was the crowd favorite. All right, next up, the Momtazi Vineyard. This is from McMinnville. It's all clone 115. We've been talking about Pinot Noir clones ever since our tasting with Jim Burnett with Willamette Valley Vineyards, and this is not one that we had that night, but this is a single vineyard, 10 years old, 30% new oak, 42 cases. What does Kelly do for a day job? Oh, yeah, she makes wine for Scott Paul. Okay. All right, a good amount of brown spice, a whole cluster showing the spiciness on the nose. That's what happens. You get some of that spice from the tannins when you do a whole cluster with Pinot Noir. Black raspberry and a minty kind of nuance to this wine as well, and some fresh earth tones. Lovely complexity on the nose with this wine. Very spiced and nuanced on the palate as well. Some of that dried floral incense spice showing on the finish, along with some lovely zesty fruit here as well. Really a little bit of chalky dryness on the end, but man, has everything else to match, just needs time. Most excellent juice. That was my favorite of the three. And the Maresh really coming on strong, though, the second tasting. I would have to say up the score on this wine slightly. This is a vineyard planted in 1970, one of the oldest vineyards in all of the Dundee Hills, which is considered kind of the Grand Cru area for the Willamette. All Pomard clones. That's one of the clones that was brought up by David Lett from California. 93 case production. Wow. A slight meaty nuance to the nose here. Light smoke, some dried cigar wrapper spice to the raspberry and red cherry fruits. Very zesty on the tongue and lovely concentration. This wine has got a solid core of red cherry fruit. A little bit of a metallic note to the finish, but I didn't notice that on the second time I tried it. Lovely silkiness. One of the things we love about Pinot Noir, the texture. This is a long finish as well. Excellent Pinot Noir for 60 bucks. Maybe a little pricey. I think we did get a better price on this, actually. All right, then a couple wines from the Piedmont. You know, this is a supplier that specializes in Burgundy, Champagne, but the Piedmont, one of the passions of the owners of this company also, as it is one of mine. These Piero Busso wines, it's the first time I've had them. Barberity Alba Santo Stefano. This wine has a kind of dark cocoa and black truffle, fresh plowed earth note to the dark berry fruit, some black licorice also. Really lovely classic Piedmontese nose. A very smooth and polished wine on the tongue with black spice, truffles, fine tannins, and lovely freshness. One of the things we love about Barbera, that level of acidity. Excellent juice at $30. Then we had the Barbaresco Santo Stefano, a cornucopia of spice coming on the nose here. Dried rose petals, oriental spice, ripe cherry fruit, liqueur-like concentration, truffle. Nice complexity on the nose here. A big and chewy wine on the palate. This 2004, a classic vintage, showing lots of tannins. Still very young. Excellent structure. Lovely fresh acidity. This wine still needs a little time, though, though some of that tannin still very dry. One of the things Nebbiolo has, pronounced tannins, but lovely spice and lovely floral notes showing through all the way to the finish. Just a bit tannic right now. Excellent juice. All right, well, that's what I had to drink yesterday, folks. I'm your host, Andrew Lampisoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.